Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's your friend Bets. My name is Jared. That's Carl. And this is Micro Series Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Volume 2. And this is I don't know if you want to call it the heroes, because the next one is called villains. So this volume covers Casey Jones, Master Splinter, April, and Fugitoid. And these issues in here kind of take place between issues in Turtles. And so the first one is Splinter, which the artwork is by Charles Paul Wilson III, and Eric Burnham is the writer. And I really liked this issue. I didn't really care for how he drew Splinter. It's not really, I don't know, I feel like sometimes like he's got like a human nose here. I don't know. He didn't look right. But his artwork that takes place in Japan was really cool. It had this like kind of like grimy manga style. And we learn Hamato Yoshi's origin of meeting Tenshin and kind of what led up to him not being into being a member of the Foot, and how it led to Shredder hating him. And then it cuts back into the present day where he's gonna fight Shredder. And so that, that was in the last volume I read. And so then the Casey Jones ones thing also has him and Raph on a patrol, which then his dad gets himself in some business, and you'll learn some backstory of Casey. And, I really liked the story, but Mike Henderson as the artist, I did not care for how he drew Casey's mom. She looks like a buff dude. This not it, man. Yeah, I just didn't like it. I get it that she's sick, but like, that looks like Chris Evans. That looks like Chris Evans drawn by Tim Seeley. Or Tim Sale, excuse me. Which was, it's fine when he draws Casey and his dad, but in like pretty much any other male characters. But then when he draws his mom, it's not it. But the story was good, and which then it ends with Casey falling into the turtle's spot like it was in the last volume. This one is like pretty forgettable. Just kind of goes back and into stuff that we kind of already seen. So like, I imagine if you were buying this back then, you're probably like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever. But it kind of gives April a kind of origin into Slash. And then Fugitoid story, I'm guessing, is like takes place after the first issue of the next volume I'm going to read, because or it's right before, one of the two. But it's the origin of Professor Honeycutt and how he uses his power, or his computer, to transfer his body into this robot. And the Krang are taking over his people, and he tries to stop it and fails and ends up in the modern day, where then he becomes Chet Allen, who works at Baxter Stockman's Stock Gen. And now it's connecting to the Shredder. And yeah, just overall, like, it's cool tie-ins. But some of the artists, I guess, I think that's kind of my thing about rereading this stuff, is like, I've gotten a lot more into comic book art, which is weird because I've been reading comics for 30 years, but now I'm really like appreciating and like analyzing comic book art, because I used to just be like, oh, I just care about the stories. But now it's like I'm really like learning about art and learning how to draw myself. I'm like seeing what I like and I don't like, and like it's been neat. And so like this Turtles series as a whole so far, from the 3 volumes of the regular series and the 2 of the micro series that I have read, there's like this griminess to it that I do like, but then there's like this like kind of like half-heartedness to a lot of some of the artists on here. And I'm not trying to knock them anyway. It's just my taste, I guess. And so like I know I love Matteo Santaluca on Turtles. His stuff's great, so I'm really looking forward to getting to that. And yeah, those are my thoughts on this volume. It was I really did like the Casey story, the Splinter story, and the Fugitoid story, and this was kind of whatever. But yeah, that's my thoughts. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.